Awesome. And we are live. Lois, welcome. How you doing?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. This is going to be a lot of fun. I wanted to go onto Facebook, go onto LinkedIn, go onto all these incredible platforms, create this video with you to introduce people to an amazing summit that you've got going on. And it's not just amazing because I'm speaking at it. I mean,
I was waiting for you.
that's one of the reasons it's amazing. No, but no, but listen, anything that you touch will turn to gold. So I wanted to give you the opportunity just to talk a little to the audience a little bit about why it is that you've put the summit together, what it is that they can hope to get from it, and also actually I'm keen to know a bit about the motivation behind it because it's a lot of work putting this thing on. I've seen you sweating away getting this thing ready for a good few months now. So why on earth did you take this leap?
Well, let's just say I was very driven and inspired by what I've noticed, what I've seen over the last 18 months since the pandemic went down. Before the pandemic, I was a face-to-face belly-to-belly salesperson and was able to make six figures across four different industries. And I love sales. I
Hmm.
love lead generation. However, I'm not gonna lie, I had a moment. I freaked out when the pandemic hit, and I didn't have an email list. I didn't have a podcast.
Right.
I hated Facebook and LinkedIn and social media. I just was ready to say, I'm done. Forget this. My YouTube channel was old and crusty. It had pictures and videos of me doing planks and push ups, which is something I sold in a past life, but I'm not doing fitness anymore. And so I was like, OMG. So then I went basically balls to the wall, all in amidst homeschooling kids, amidst I had some family members drop dead, I had
Mm.
friends commit suicide. I went through such emotional grief in a short period of time, and I still had to figure it out because we had to put food on the table,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
My husband's income was about to go away, and we live in Southern California.
Right. Okay.
So mama had to figure it out. And so I hired a coach. I went through, I launched a podcast. I built an email list. I created a digital product, which I never had before 2020. Okay, I'm giving you context. And I was able to go from zero email list to 5,000, no podcast to a top 20 launched podcast, and to be able to go from $0 a month in online sales and revenues, meeting no new people in person, right? Because we were in
Hmm.
lockdown here in Southern California, to multiple five figures a month. And that took me 9 months. So it was like a birthing process, if you will.
Sure.
And when I came out on the other side, here I was, and I was talking to people who, at the same time as me, 9 months prior, we were like, "Hey, let's go, let's do this online thing," and they were still broke, or
Right.
they were still lost, dazed, and confused. And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh my gosh, how did I figure it out?" So I really sat with it. I reflected on it, and I decided, you know what? There's so many people hurting. There's like this scarcity thing.
Sure.
And I want to be able to give them something of value for free that can help them manifest and monetize much bigger, much faster, like I did. And so I hired a company, 360 Summits. Super excited about them, and because they had a formula for building a virtual summit. Because I also saw what was not working in the summit space, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
That looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
too much work and no return. I want to impact lives here. I want to impact thousands and thousands of lives. So I worked with them. I found my 27 speakers, including yourself, and people who are giving tremendous value. It's not a pitch fest. And to give you even more of a, I guess, a part of my why is there's so much behind the name, how to manifest. It's really more of a spiritual word. It's really meant to be your highest and best, your version of yourself that has a dream, has a goal, that you're here for a purpose.
Hmm.
Then you go out and monetize it. I see so many people going out to make the money, to make the money, and then they feel like their soul is dead, or they realize, you know what, I really don't want to be doing all this stuff, because they weren't coming from a grounded place spiritually first. And to me, sales is a spiritual word. It's about service, it's about passion, it's about your purpose. And I had a friend who was a TEDx speaker, and I wanted to invite him to the summit because he was one of the speakers that wasn't monetizing, not manifesting. He
Right.
actually rung me up in August, and he's like, "Hey, I think I need to go get a job. Can I send you my resume?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing? You have an
Wow.
amazing story. You have an amazing coaching business, and how can I help?" And literally, Phil, I might start crying. Wanted to invite him to the summit, and last weekend he committed suicide.
Oh my days.
And so, just so you know, I
I'm so
created this
sorry.
summit. Thank you. I created the summit for people like him. I created the summit also for people who already have a baseline of business, but they just haven't been able to get to five figures or multiple five figures. And they just feel overwhelmed by all these courses out there, all these money driven marketers that are taking their money and they don't have any left. You know what I mean?
That's a really important point. I mean, I think that's something that definitely resonated with me when we first started talking about it. I mean, to touch on a point that you made about 360 summits with George. George is fantastic, and this is why I love these strategic alliances and these partnerships. The one that you have with George, we're doing some work with George, the stuff that we're doing together, and what we're creating, and everything else in the middle, because I think when you find people who are really purpose driven and they have a desire to help people, it's great to hang around those people, because actually I think some people this will come as a surprise to, and others maybe not so much. But I would honestly say that there's a majority of people in the industry that are actually quite happy to take your money, but they're not really that interested in helping deliver a service. Which is why, even though we've started doing more and more of our larger corporate stuff, we've still retained that small part of our business that deals with coaches, speakers, and micro businesses. Because I remember what it was to be in that space. I mean, I remember putting $12,500 on a credit card to buy a program because this guy literally said, this is going to be how you get your agency to where you need it to be. And I never made a single cent off any of the information that they taught me. Nothing. And then I see this person has a large Facebook group and they're doing it over and over again. And it's, here's some free advice. Come and buy my really expensive stuff and I'll help you. But there's nothing behind the curtain. There's nothing. And that right there is where people find they get themselves into a mess, because they're like, well, I can't really afford this, but I really need to get to that 5-10 grand a month mark. So if I just find this 10 grand and I just pay this guy, everything's going to be okay. And then it's not. Like, people are preying on people's like desire and need, and that really, it cuts me up.
I see it all the time. I get on
Yeah,
sales calls and Lois, oh my gosh, I really wish I could do your program, but I just spent my last 10 grand with that person. So I kind of see this as like a university, an all-in-one, one-stop shop that also on the back end, there's like six figures plus in generous gifts from the speakers. So they actually could be set for life in manifesting and monetizing their business.
I love it. No, I love it. And look, I'm really sorry to hear about your friend. That is, I mean, there's no words really, are there? That's utterly heartbreaking. I guess the thing that I would say is that the more people that we can help and empower so that they don't have to feel like they're ever in that position. I mean, I can't even imagine that dark place. So the more people that we can help sort of escape that, the better. And actually, I know a lot of the speakers who are speaking at this event. Obviously, I know myself pretty well, but I know lots of the speakers that are speaking at this event, and there is some incredible information in here. These are people, like us, that practice what they preach. They put it into play. We drink our own Kool-Aid. This is the stuff that we're teaching. Is the stuff that's making our businesses work and our businesses thrive. And that's why I feel that this is such a powerful summit. So who we talked about manifesting, and we've talked about getting sort of to that next level, but who is it that should really attend?
Yeah, so my ideal are those coaches,
Yep,
speakers, authors, podcasters, because you're a part of this as well, and then transformational leaders, people who are really wanting to have a bigger online footprint and a much much bigger business to monetize. And how do you do all that? And just to give you also context, the reason there's also this manifest component, I have healers speaking about life purpose. I have people,
amazing.
I have a chiropractor on there talking about releasing trauma from the past. She has a trauma master class. We have another emotional healer who helps you 10x your business, because when you heal from within, inner peace brings outer abundance, right? So
Definitely.
it's not just another business podcast where you get to learn all of the strategies and all of the tips about how to do XYZ. There's tons of that, trust me. But we start with the really really good stuff. So
But it's
I think
about it's
it's
about harmony, isn't it? I think that's the point. you can't have one aspect of your life that's flourishing and everything else is but crashing and burning around you. You know, it's
100%.
you have to have harmony with your health, with your home life, with love, relationship, laughter, fun, your diet, your sleep routine, all of it to be successful in work. I mean, how many people have we seen do that? I mean, I was one of them, which is why I joke about it, because I was that person who was like, when I'm successful, I'll eat better, sleep better, meditate more, and get a personal trainer. And what I realized was that actually to get to that level of success, I needed to do all of those things right now.
Oh yeah, trust me. I've been the workaholic who manifested a disease and never saw her
Ooh.
kids or her husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And so I've been on both sides. And when you can come back to center and trust and have faith, belief, desire, Napoleon Hill, you don't have to be crazy. You don't have to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and go in that direction. There's
Yeah.
actually more abundance if you just kind of be in taking care of yourself first, put your oxygen mask on first, and then do the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, I've talked about this on interviews before, but I think it's important to touch on it here. Actually, the my very first business, when I hit that million mark for myself, that was like a big milestone for me. And I remember getting to that point and being utterly miserable because I felt exactly the same. In fact, if anything, I felt slightly worse because I told myself that I'd feel better when I got to that point, and I didn't. I was massively overweight. I ruptured my appendix through stress. I was supposed to be in hospital for 2 days, and I discharged myself 4 hours after the operation to go to a business meeting because I wanted to go and get the sale done. I literally had to go back after the meeting and get my dressing restitched because it was a mess. Like I went to a meeting, kept my jacket on because I was aware that blood was showing through my top. That's how recent the surgery was, and I just disappeared off. Right, so I've been the guy who nearly ran myself into an early grave doing it that way, and it was miserable. And when you have that purpose and you have everything set around it, it's funny. Not only does that money become, how do I wear this? It doesn't become the focus. In fact, it's not even important anymore, but actually you make even more of it because of the approach that you're taking. That's the irony of this. It was so much easier to make the second million because we were doing it in a better way than it was to make the first. In fact, here's a true story. When we made it with Billionaires in Boxers, I had to be told 2 months after by my accountant that we'd hit the target because I didn't even notice. I was just so busy enjoying what we were doing. It hadn't even noticed. Whereas in the first business, I was counting every dollar that came in, every dollar. Like that gets us closer. That gets me closer. This deal gets me. Now I only need this, and that was how my mindset was wired. But it was so tense and stressful, and I think there's a lot of people that will be watching this that are feeling that way. They're like, if we just had another 10 grand in the business, like in my back pocket every month, I'd be great. And they're just focused on that 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. And it's stressing them out and it's working them up. And I really hope they come and join in with the summit, because with all the information that's going to be involved in the summit for them, I think it's going to help people to realize that there is a better way of doing this, a more successful way of doing this, a way that they can enjoy doing this that's better for their health and their soul, as well as their bank balance.
Amen. Mic drop. I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. Because I've coached hundreds of people since, 12 months ago when I launched my first real digital program. And
Yep.
I just I see it, I feel it. And they put the cart before the horse. And you can have both. You can have your health, you can have wealth, and you'll be a lot wiser for it.
No, absolutely love it. So how do people get involved?
Wonderful. Well, did you want to share your link, or we can,
I certainly
however you
will. I will put my link in the comments below, and people can sign up using that link. What's the dates?
Yep, I was just going to go over that. So it is October 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's not a quote unquote live, you have to show up and attend at a certain time. It's a consume as you go. Everything's been pre recorded. And so you can access it the morning of the 7th. However, if you want early access, there is a VIP pass. That's where you get all the downloads, all of the recordings, all of the transcripts, MP3s, and the six figures plus in giveaways and bonuses from people like Phil himself. All the speakers just really put everything they could into this to give you even extra value. And then you have those recordings and everything for life. So that's up to you. But it goes live on this coming Thursday, October. The seventh.
Definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And look, if you can stretch to it, my advice would be check out the VIP stuff. If nothing else, for the fact that you've got this stuff evergreen, you can keep watching it. And the giveaways and stuff. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. I can speak for mine, but I mean, we've got like a giveaway in there that somebody instantly plugged into their business. And like within their first podcast interview, having learned the stuff that's in there, they made an additional $10,000 in revenue from the host. So that's just one thing in there. If everybody else is bringing gifts to the table, as I know they will, that are at that same high level of quality, you are going to absolutely clean up. So do not miss out. Lois, firstly, thank you for doing this. Well, the interview as well, but thank you for doing the summit. I feel like this is a really important thing. And for me personally, I love it when people are combining the business and spirituality side of things, because they are not separate. They are incredibly intrinsically linked. And to try and deal with one in isolation to the other just kind of seems a little bit foolish. So bringing it all into one place is super, super powerful. I can only imagine the impact that this is going to have on people's lives. I know there's already like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people signed up already. Highly encourage everybody that's watching this to do the same. Spread it far and wide as well. I mean, as Lois said, and I don't want to feel like I'm playing on something morbid, because I'm not, but you never know what's going on inside somebody's mind. You never know who you're connected with on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on wherever, who is struggling at the moment. And actually this event could be that thing that helps them to kind of unlock their potential, or get out of that dark place. So even if this isn't for you, please share it on your timeline, push it far and wide, maybe drop it to a couple of people that you think might find it interesting. It can be your good deed for the day, is sharing that with people. And I believe that the universe will put it in front of who needs to be watching it and who needs to hear this message at this time. And anyone who's on the fence, just sign up. Just sign up. Come check it out. I mean, what's the worst you got? It's pre-recorded. You can watch it at a time that fits you. I mean, how many bathroom breaks you have a day? Watch it while you're on the loo. I don't care where you watch it. Just take the information, absorb it, and who
It
knows
might
where it can
actually
take you.
improve your trips to the bathroom. Your
It might.
digestion will actually improve because you'll be so calm and zen and excited.
Exactly. That's the next summit, how to zen your bathroom breaks. No, but I love it. Absolutely love it. I always love our work together. So long may it continue. I'm looking forward to doing even more work with you in the future. Very, very best of luck for the summit. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute massive success. And I will put the link in the comments below. Wherever you're watching this, check out the comments underneath. I'm going to put it in there for you. Go get yourself all signed up, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Be awesome. Thank you.
See you all soon.
Mm-hmm.